Hey family, thanks so much for joining me. So I wanted to bring you another message um, of healer's wisdom. Um, this, of course, is a timeless message. I get my information from God and from the Holy Spirit. I don't use any other things. So use your discernment, of course, as you're listening to these messages and deciding what to do. Um, if you'd like to work with me on spiritual healing, on readings, astrology, twin flame stuff. My information is in the description below. Um, and I wanted to talk to you um, about maintaining your boundaries this time. Because a lot of, especially at this time, as you're trying to move back into this place of being authentic, being genuine, speaking, using your voice, you're going to have some resistance. People are at times not going to like what you're saying, what you're doing. They're going to at times try to silence you. And for you, you still have to stand up. You still have to maintain your boundaries. You still have to do the things that you know are right. And it's tough because if you haven't practiced it a lot, and even if you have, it's still like, people still want to stop you. They want to shut you up. They want to, make sure that you're not getting the truth out there, the message, the authenticity. They do not want it to get out. And when that's happening, um, when there's resistance, sometimes you waver, and sometimes you feel like, okay, well, should I keep going because there's so much against me? But of course, you have to keep in mind who this world is ruled by, what it's ruled by, and that it's important because there are people who depend on you to keep on speaking the truth. They're not going to stop resisting. Um, God is behind you when you're doing the things that are right, when you're speaking truth, when you're living truth, serving truth, standing up for truth, but will get resistance at times. And just know that God is carrying you through all those things and that you will still be able to continue to spread the message. God is just going to carry you. But you might have, had a talk with a person and, they're resisting. They're saying, no, 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 I think you're wrong. I don't think you should be doing this. And, you know, you might have given them the speech, whatever it is, and said, okay, we have an understanding. And they're like, yeah, 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 I'm so sorry. And then they'll go and turn around and do the same things and say the same things over and over and over again. Why? Because you might be dealing with someone, say, for instance, that always gets their way. They always got their way. And so now they're faced with you trying to tell the truth and be authentic and all this stuff, and they like, well, I don't care about authenticity, I don't care about truth. All they care about is getting their way, and it doesn't matter who it hurts, it doesn't matter like who they step on. Sometimes, like, I was hearing about someone, for example, that usually they don't confront other people, that's in their family, let's say, and you can do that for years and you can continue to have, you know, issues. However, because you don't confront it, what happens sometimes, the behavior gets worse and worse and worse. And there are some people you just do not want to talk to because they cannot own their stuff. They will not admit to the truth. They will not tell you that you're right. They do not want you to know that they've been living a lie, or that other people have been letting them off the hook, and finally they face someone like you, and one part of them wants to hug you and embrace you because you're telling them the truth, and then another part of them wants to punch you in the face or whatever, punch you in the stomach and knock you out, because they're like, wait a minute, this is going to mean eventually, if I don't fight, I'm not going to get what I want. But the thing is, the truth is, you'll get what you need. And ultimately, if you're doing the right thing, you'll always get what you want, because what you want is what you need. Um, And so it's just important for you continue, stand up, maintain your boundaries. You're going to have resistance. Sometimes you do have to stand on the principle, and the person that you're faced with is not going to tell the truth. And there are some people, unfortunately, that their sense of reality is so different. It's not on track is the one of the best ways to say that, because for instance, I'm talking to a certain person, and they're saying these people, they're not helping me, they're not doing this, they're not doing that right. And then when you check in with them, they're saying, oh no, actually they are. But there might have been some things, like we talk about the spiritual warfare now, there might have been some things that are attacking their minds, and they're deceived. And so a person is like, say for instance, they needed help with their rent, and someone's helping them with their rent, but they're saying, no, this person didn't help me at all. And then when you ask them, they're like, well, yeah, they did help me pay my rent. Yeah, they did help me buy food. Yeah, they did help me pay some of my other bills. But like, they told me this thing. And you're like, well, did they tell you the truth? Yeah, they did tell me the truth, but I didn't like it. And so it's all this warped sense of what's helping for them. Like, how are they defining help? And it's a totally unique and different way that most people are not going to agree with. So for you, again, I was talking about the importance of maintaining your boundaries, speaking the truth, serving the truth, living the truth, being about the truth. It's sometimes difficult because you will have people arguing with you about this stuff that you're gonna say, this nonsense. I don't even understand why they brought this to me. And yet they're gonna argue about it. So, and I remember like having conversations with people, whether it's family members or others, where they told me something. And because of me, being a chosen one, as you all are, or most of you are as well, um, because of God's communication with me, because of my discernment, I said, I don't have any evidence, right? Because we can talk about we walk by faith, not by sight. I didn't see anything that would indicate that this person was telling me a lie. They seem like innocent, sweet, but I'm saying, no, no, my spirit is telling me they're not telling me the truth. And they kept pushing the issue, pushing the issue. I'm like, I can't let it go. You ain't telling me the truth. I don't know why. I'm picking it up. You are not telling me the truth. And eventually they came out and told me the truth. And I was like, see, but they argue you down when you know the truth, until you're almost at the point you're like, you know what, I give up. Then God steps in. And sometimes they don't even know how it happens. They don't even have control over their mouth anymore. And they have to tell you the truth. They have to confess with their tongues whatever the truth is. And for you, you have to know that if you keep pushing, if you keep just standing on what you know is the truth, um, then the truth is going to come out. You won't be put to shame. This is what the promise is for us. We will never be put to shame. Um, but it's but before any of that, like, people argue with you, they fight with you, and then so much of it is they want their way. They want to get what they want because they know that if they give you an inch, if they really tell you the truth, nothing, like they're losing ground. In the future, it's going to be easier for you to say no, and so on. And so there's been so many instances where I'm looking at a person like, nah, they ain't telling me the truth. And yet, again, there's no evidence. And, in the beginning, they won't admit to you that they're lying, that they're not telling you the truth. They'll still do it, continue to lie and play in your face. And then eventually, what you see, chosen ones, is that you keep practicing this over and over and over again, and you get the victory. I'm going to bring you another video soon but this one, I don't want it to be too long. Um, but just make sure that you're standing in your truth. Just make sure that you're standing in the truth that God has given you, that God has put in your heart. Um, and continue, like I said, to maintain your boundaries, because people will try to cross them every which way. And you would call yourself a nice person. And this is something else that I want to address, but I want to make another video about that. It ain't about doing what's nice, it's about doing what's right, chosen ones. So you got to make sure that you're doing what's right. It's more important than ever for you to be putting the truth out there, living the truth, being about the truth, and all that right now. It is so important, because people are going to try to get you to turn around. They're going to get you to try to double back. They're going to get you to try to doubt and question and all this stuff. And you've got to make sure that you're staying close to God, so that you are standing up for the truth. And again, it takes practice, but the more you do it, the easier it is. And I'm not saying that every day it's easy, but I'm saying that it gets easier as you continue to do it. All right, y'all. So again, I didn't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to share some information with you. Of course, it feels great to be speaking the truth and like standing up for the truth and serving the truth and, sharing the information with you. All right, y'all. So I'm going to stop for now. Um, as always, happy lightning fast manifesting, and I'm going to talk to y'all again soon. All right. Love y'all. Bye for now.